More people are dying from prescription pills than they are from motor vehicle accidents. These are people, these are real people, and they're dying out because nobody seems to care anymore. You know, and it's not right. It's like we've been raped here in this county of any enjoyment of life. We're considered the poorest county in the state, and even on national level, we're listed as a third world country here. It's pitiful what's happened to this county over the years, and our county looks like a ghost town, really. We're the first county in West Virginia to sue 3 companies that they were sending all these pills out to the depressed areas and things.
Think that they're these tatted up guys walking around the streets, pants hanging down, never held a job, or just lying around and in an alley shooting up heroin, and that's not the case. You know, these are kids who are in a mechanical engineering program at WVU, or healthcare professionals, or lawyers, and that's kind of what my program does, is educating the public just about this very question which you asked me. It's like, what do these people look like? You know, they could look like you. They could look like me. They could be employed doing something very similar to what you do. You know, we see cases where millions of pills are shipped into one tiny little pharmacy in a tiny little town with a population of 300 people.
Yeah.
Should alarms be going off somewhere?
Absolutely.
Probably 9 out of 10 cases that we're involved with is drug related. And I see people that I grew up with, I see people that I went to school with, and see neighbors, you know, and these are good people through surgeries, and they've got addicted to drugs, and it's taken over their life. And because drugs are so easily available on the streets and down through the pharmaceutical companies flooding West Virginia and flooding our county here of McDowell, and then people just turn to drugs.
You are in the Gary area. This area is known as the Gary Bottom. This used to be the richest, largest coal mining operation in the world. There are pill houses all around here.
I've been there, so I know how it feels to want that next fix, that next high, that next feeling of trying to feel normal.
Leslie was standing on the street corner every day, begging for money. Every day. That was her job. You would come down the street and you would see her chasing cars. Give me a quarter. There's no jobs, there's no hope. And see, when you live in a world with no hope, you'll do anything to try to bring hope into your life. And I think they have used drugs as a formal way of coping with what used to be.
I no longer wanted to feel. I didn't want to feel the pain, the mental issues that I was going through. It seemed to cover it up, to take it away, that I didn't have to think about it.
And all too many times have we sold them to pay electric bills, to get food, to do things that we needed to do. They were there, why sit and be hungry?
And it just doesn't take from the poor side of walk of life. It takes from all of us.
I practiced emergency medicine here at Grant Memorial Hospital for many years. Saved a lot of lives. The only kind of passion that I had was I liked racing. I liked cars, fast cars, and this one time that it was pouring rain and 160 miles an hour, lost control of the car and went straight into the guardrail, this metal guardrail, just demolished the car. The very next day, I had to be kind of back at work in the ER, and I tried to call, hey, can you cover me? No one's covering me, and I'm in tremendous pain. So I took hydrocodone out of the sample closet, and I remember immediately feeling just not only was my pain gone, but I felt like energy, I felt euphoria, and you know, the next day I took more because I still had back pain. The samples that were available there, I consumed them all. And then I started writing prescriptions. I wrote them in different individuals' names. And this may have been a period of 3.5 years. Basically, the DEA started doing an investigation, and they looked and they saw this pattern of him writing these prescriptions in different names, the same names again and again and again. My sentence was 48 months, and I served like 2.5 years, a little more than 2.5 years.
My mother's a prescription junkie, and because she has a doctor that screams, every time she screams of pain, they write her a prescription. Now, it's much better than it used to be, but years ago, you used to say, I knocked my pills in the toilet, and guess what?
You got another
They write you
prescription.
another prescription.
I called the Attorney General's office and asked them what could be done, that we're being targeted because of our economic situation that we're in. And I felt that's no different than drug dealers out here targeting people that, you know, that's got a problem. All they're looking for is the money.
What is the topic that you want to tell us about?
What I wanted to talk about today, Steve, is prescription drug diversion in hospice. So what changed for me, number one, was in prison I received research. I had my son, my wife, my family, my friends send me anything on drug diversion, anything on doctor shopping. So that really intrigued me, like, why don't I know this? You know, why can I not get a medical expert to come in here and talk to me about this? Because there is no one. And I wanted to be that medical expert, and so that I took that on as my life's mission. The economics is what drives this.
So the laws are starting to tighten up. But we've waited so long till this whole country is just about addicted to drugs. And now we're trying to find answers for it, and you know, it's not going to come as long as it took to get it established. It's going to take that long to get it de-escalated now, the problems that we're facing.
New Harvard study confirms Big Pharma and federal government root cause of opioid epidemic. By Justin Gardner, July 26, 2017. A new study published in the Harvard Law and Policy Review painstakingly describes how Big Pharma deception and federal government patenting have brought about the current U.S. opioid epidemic. As lawsuits pile up against pharma companies, this study confirms that for 20 years, the American public has served as the victim in a gargantuan scheme of money and power. The study, titled The Opioid Epidemic, Fixing a Broken Pharmaceutical Market, gets right to the point in the introduction. In this article, we argue that non-rigorous patenting standards and ineffectual policing of both fraudulent marketing and anti-competitive actions played an important role in launching and prolonging the opioid epidemic. We further show that these regulatory issues are not unique to prescription opioids but rather are reflective of the wider pharmaceutical market. Researchers follow with a primer on the rise of opioid prescriptions and how pain became the fifth vital sign. By the 1990s, doctors realized that chronic pain was often ignored, and pain management became a hot topic. Physicians were urged to make greater use of opioids, with experts in the field downplaying the potential for misuse and addiction, a view largely based on experience with morphine. But this was before OxyContin came along. Purdue Pharma, recognizing that this newfound view of the medical establishment could be exploited, worked to develop an improved synthetic opioid. Their golden ticket was found with the extended-release oxycodone pill known as OxyContin, patented and approved by the FDA in 1995. However, Purdue's exclusive patent was based on corporate fraud and government ignorance. Advertisement. Purdue was able to patent extended-release oxycodone in the United States despite the fact that its constituent elements, the active ingredient oxycodone and the controlled-release system Contin, had been developed decades earlier. Oxycodone was used in clinical practice in Germany as early as 1917, and was first introduced in the United States in 1939. Purdue's angle was to develop a controlled-release version of oxycodone, banking on its success with the patented MS Contin for morphine. Here's where the Fed stepped in to help. Read more. Law enforcement corruption so rampant, Orange co-judge forced to disqualify all 250 prosecutors. The United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, initially rejected Purdue's patent request for extended-release oxycodone, citing the combination as obvious. But Purdue responded with a statistical falsehood, which the company knew was false, and the patent office made an about-face, granting the 20-year patent for OxyContin. Since then, the cozy relationship between Big Pharma and government has grown, with the pharma industry spending almost $1 billion in 10 years on lobbying federal and state governments and campaign contributions. As the Harvard study notes, low patenting standards and a history of tepid enforcement provided incentive for Purdue to embark on a massive, fraudulent marketing campaign. With the guarantee of no competition provided by government, Purdue spent obscene amounts of money getting American hooked on their newly patented product. Between 1996 and 2000, the company more than doubled its U.S. marketing team. In 2001, Purdue paid $40 million in bonuses tied to extended-release oxycodone. Purdue also invested heavily in analytics, developing a database to identify high-volume prescribers and pharmacies to help focus their marketing resources. Patients were offered starter coupons for a free initial supply of extended-release oxycodone, 34,000 of which were redeemed by 2001. Finally, Purdue hosted 40 all-expenses paid pain management and speaker training conferences at lavish resorts. Over 5,000 clinicians attended, receiving toys, fishing hats, and compact discs while listening to sales representatives tout the alleged benefits of extended-release oxycodone. Purdue elevated the stakes, spending an estimated 6 to 12 times more promoting extended-release oxycodone than its competitor Janssen spent marketing a rival opioid. Purdue's efforts paid off. Between 1996 and 2001, extended-release oxycodone generated $2.8 billion in sales. From 2008 to 2014, annual sales exceeded $2 billion. It gets even worse. Read more. Cops caught speeding to Dunkin' Donuts. As the patent expiration for OxyContin approached, Purdue developed an abuse deterrent formulation of the drug, for which FDA granted a patent in 2010. Not satisfied with a simple new patent, Purdue filed a citizen petition asking the FDA to refuse to accept generic versions of the original extended-release oxycodone formulation on safety grounds. Incredibly, FDA also granted this to Purdue, effectively preventing the marketing of low-cost, therapeutically equivalent products that might undercut Purdue's incentive to continue to widely promote its new abuse deterrent formulation. By the way, the abuse deterrent OxyContin doesn't really deter addicts, and it has fueled the explosive heroin epidemic as addicts seek out cheaper, black market alternatives. But Purdue is content making its billions off the patented drug. While thousands of Americans die under a campaign of deception and greed, official Washington pretends to care with the occasional fine levied against pharma companies, including for false marketing by Purdue. But no one ever goes to jail, no one in top management is ever held to account. The persons in personhood conveniently disappear when corporations get in trouble. And the fines? Mere pocket change compared to the revenues already made from the drugs involved. Rather than deterring fraudulent marketing, the penalties simply became a cost of doing business. The Harvard study provides much more insight into the fraudulent marketing practices of Big Pharma. the patent schemes enabled by federal government, how generic drugs are routinely stifled, and possible ways to address the injustice. Some of the more sinister effects of the system include hard switches which force patients to go from one costly patented drug to another instead of generics. The use of citizen petitions by pharma corporations to slow generic drugs and keep prices high is a particularly insidious scheme. Read more. Cop never fired after 2 fits of road rage. On the third fit, he shot a lady in the head for honking. The study notes that today, over 4 million Americans misuse opioids each month at a societal cost of $80 billion annually. 300 million prescriptions were written in 2015 in the U.S., which has a population of 323 million. This is reflected in the fact that 80% of the world's opioids are consumed in the U.S., which has 5% of the world's population. The misuse of opioids is not a simple issue, and personal choice is of course involved. But the above numbers point to something much bigger going on. As the Harvard study confirms, Big Pharma has exploited the enormous addiction potential of opioids to prey upon the American populace for decades, made possible by a federal government with blatant disregard for the well-being of citizens.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I found that I had to make a change this ending on my videos, letting you know about the channel and fair use laws, you know, how we can report on other people's reporting and how it's good, how it's bad, etc. But you guys can look it up yourself. It is legal. It's in there. But like I've told you before, that I've been cut off from making money on YouTube for 4 years. It's really weird, bizarre, but they cut the money off, but they said you can keep the channel, and now YouTube makes all the money. And if you get bored, plug it into Social Blade website, and you'll see that they are making a huge amount off the site. Right now it's at 63 million views, 53,000 subscribers, almost 3 million views a month. You know, trying to wake people up, and I make nothing. In fact, I got a customer that's ex-congressman. He said if I could ever find a lawyer, sue YouTube on it. But because this is nuts, 4 hours a day, and to save America. You know, but at the same time, it's worth it. Look at what our founding fathers did. They died for this country. So, but getting back to the money part, this is why I'm redoing the video. Is my dream of everyone giving $1, and it's going to be $53,000 a year, or if they did Patreon, which you know, can be monthly. That is not working. That'd be great if it did. Nothing is perfect. And I appreciate the people that do donate, you know, what they can on PayPal, and there again, I'm letting you guys know that is not much. Is, you know, monthly is, oh my god. So anyways, yes, you cannot live on it. It's very, very, very low amount. But the dollar things, I do appreciate that. But when I first said everybody give $1, that's not working. I'm just letting you guys know it's, yeah, that dream. Everybody gives $1. 53,000 subscribers, it's not working. So yes, if you can give more than that, you know, I appreciate it. Like I said, you know, I'm in a unique situation where, you know, we're already debt free, and I'm not rich, but with the little business that we have, I am able to do what I am able to do 45 hours a day, you know, letting you guys know what's going on. In 4 years, I've did the whole thing myself. 12,000 videos on there. I literally get emails where people are like, holy crap, I never knew it was this bad. And it is this bad, and it's getting worse every day because we have the internet, we have cell phones, we have cameras everywhere now, and it's just disgusting what's going on. And then, as you guys know too, now we got Trump, we got Jeff Sessions doing a war on drugs, and now he wants to go after the forfeiture laws again. It's just unfreaking real. So if you can give more than that dream of everybody giving $1, yeah, that old video, that's not working. They're not, they're just not. So anyways, if you can give more than that dream is not working. Hardly anybody is giving. There you go. So that's why I'm remaking the video. If you can give more than that, that would be great. And there again, like I said, the Patreon's there. There is some people on there that are starting to give, but there again, it's very, very low. And like I said, I don't want to get rich off of that. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because, you know, it's still so stinking corrupt. It's not even funny. My court case that I'm going to be paying out of my pocket myself with Charlotte County's coming up. They illegally looked me up and then posted all my information on LEOAFFAIRS website. They basically doxed me, however you want to say that. I forget what the word is, and they outed me, man. And that information on that site went out to 500 sheriffs, deputies, people that work at the jail, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, it is very, very scary, but we're going to do a federal case, 1983 case, violating freedom of speech. We have 17 cameras in the house now. We got 2 cameras in the car. I always carry a camera plus a cell phone. A lot of people are highly recommending I get a vest now. If I could, if the wife would let me, I would run for sheriff. We are trying to push the thing nationwide right now. Where just to mix it up and to get the topics out there is register to run for sheriff, NPA, no party affiliation, as a write-in, and that is completely free, and you can participate in the elections. And there's a lot of stuff. We got a guy, James McLinnis in Pinellas County, Tampa, who almost won. He experienced the corruption himself. The story is unbelievable. Look him up. It's mind-blowing what they did. It pissed him off. He is very, very smart. He has way more money than I did. He ran for sheriff at the last 3 months last year in 2016 and almost won. He got all of the black vote. And the reason why he did that is because he ran in, I will not bust, we're in Florida, I will not bust anybody for weed anymore unless it's an ungodly huge amount, like pounds. And then he also ran in no more victimless crimes, no more of this freaking road pirate bull crap. And then he was going to cut the budget by 30%. And when you think about that, you can. If you stop the road pirates, you can get rid of a bunch of people. Gone. So, the wife has been saying, yes, I can, yes, I can't. So I don't know. We're trying to find somebody that can do it because I am busy doing this anyways. But, so I'm making a video, like I said, that $1 a month from everybody, you know, for 53,000 subscribers, that is not working. I'm just letting you guys know. Absolutely give way more than $1 a month. If you can, I appreciate anything. By the way, remember too, when you give that, PayPal takes like freaking 15 to 20%, so it's even worse than that. But, and there again, like I'm letting you guys know, it's way, what I get is very, very low. Appreciate it, but it is very, very low. Can't live on it. I'm just, you know, I'm working, and that's what I'm working on. And that court case is going to cost a buttload of money. That's federal court. Just the filing fees and the depositions that we're going to be doing with this corrupt cop. So there's another reason to give. We are going to be doing a deposition with this very corrupt. He was in a drug squad. He is a bad guy. He's on steroids. We heard steroids are rampant here. That's why their attitude is so bad. And we are going to get him on video, and it will be on YouTube. So that case alone is $5,000 just to bring it to court, and that's my money out of my pocket. So there's another reason to give, and give way more than $1 if you can. So keep that in mind. This is the new video, and I see, God, I talk a lot. It's already 7 minutes, but had to make it just to let you know that $1 a month from everybody is not working. They're not doing it. So if you can give more than that, please. So thanks. Keep it up. Share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, send me your videos on corruption, and I'll post it.